Hello, and welcome to Andrew Broussard Watercolors. Today, I wanted to take a look at some, I guess they'd be vintage technical pens that I picked up off of eBay. They're all, I believe the pronunciation is kor-I-noor, K-O-H-I-N-O-O-R. And I honestly don't remember what I picked them up for and what size, meaning like what price and what width for the mark that it makes. I was looking at the packages and I think that this one might be a size 1 while this might be a size 0.35. I'm really not sure, but I'll kind of open them up and we'll play around with them and see how they are. I had this one that I had gotten in a trade a while back because I like fountain pens and trading fountain pens, and this one inks up by just twisting the bottom. It's kind of like a plunger on the inside that's connected right there. So anywho, we'll open these guys up, we'll ink them up and see how they are mark making wise. This might be a tool that you want to add to your art collection. I believe that traditionally a lot of people that were in architecture and drafting would use these. They've probably been around for years in a lot of different iterations. And I know that they make some modern ones. In fact, there's this brand, the kor-I-noor, and there's another brand out there on the market, at least two, that are currently making stuff. I'm going to use the platinum carbon ink to fill these up. It's what I enjoy for drawing and sketching. It's waterproof and light fast. I think that they make an ink themselves that go in these. You could probably use fountain pen ink. You wouldn't want to use India ink. There's these little tools that they use to remove the bits and to clean them. I was never like trained in how to use these pens, so this is just kind of like a hobbyist view of them. There's definitely in-depth videos on taking it apart. For example, if I remove this, let's see, there we go, and twist it out. Sorry that I'm twisting on camera and taking that time. If you remove that, you then from there have a little weight on the inside and you can kind of soak it and clean it. But that's kind of like up to you, and to be careful and to read into it to see the cleaning. In fact, both of these came with instructions, and they probably addressed that in there. Anywho, so with this, I have a love-hate relationship with this ink, and the fact that I absolutely love it, but since I use it in so many art pens and some of them require eyedroppers, I wish that it had some sort of eyedropper option. But then once you have an eyedropper option with a bottle, then you can't put it down straight, etc. This seal right here didn't feel too tight, so hopefully it won't leak on the inside. I'll close it up and I'll let that kind of migrate down. And while that migrates down, we'll open up this other one. Put the cap on and be responsible. All right, so this one I think is a smaller size. Both of these had $11 on it. I don't know if that was from the store I got it on eBay, or if it was some in-person store and then the person on eBay got it and then resold it. I don't think I paid 11. I paid less than that for it. The newer models, if you look online, go for so much. And if these interest you, ask the seller if it's working, if it's cleaned, etc. So I believe this has a smaller tip, has a bigger reservoir, but it looks like this one disassembles and reassembles the same way. They even have big old sets that they sell online. You could find those used and new. I think a lot of those used ones go for maybe $20 or $40 on eBay. Let's see. That feels a little bit tighter fit. I'll set it upside down. Yeah, it says 0.35 on it. So I had gotten these, one of the reasons is I like the micron pens, but I'm also really into fountain pens. And this kind of satisfies that fountain pen aspect, while it also has the micron pen aspect. With the micron pens, and I have one right here because I use the sign stuff, I have read that you can remove portions of it and put ink in and kind of re-ink them. I haven't tried that. And I think I had read that the technical pens were a finer line or a finer point than the microns could get to. However, I think Micron came out with a 0.15 or maybe a 0.3, but however, ... from there, I have read that like those bend very easily or break easily. I'm not sure if that happens with the thinner ones. I didn't go too thin, I don't think, with either of these, but it's just some stuff to think about. This is kind of just an exploratory video. Maybe give you an idea of something that you would like to get and what you would like to add as an art supply. In fact, after this, I'll wind up pausing and actually doing a drawing with them. So it takes a little while with fountain pens or anything. If you ink them with a cartridge for it to flow down, that's why I had them kind of sitting upside down. And traditionally, if you watch videos of old-timey people, they'll shake their fountain pen like this to try to get the flow, but you could splatter it everywhere. So what I'm going to do is pause the camera, give them a few shakes until I can get them going. All right, so it only took a couple seconds of kind of standing here and maraca shaking, but I got them to flow. Now, a few things with these. Whenever I would look up rapidographs, they have all these different types of names for it. Rapidometric, they have rapido sketch, they had all these different models. Whenever you look at it, you'll find a lot of forums or kind of texts where people fondly remember the starting and stopping of it and how you had to hold them up vertically and the cleaning process. So those two things, or those three things, are things to keep in mind, where I think they gave people a lot of stress whenever they were in college and learning their drawings. Anyway, here I am on kind of a little bit of a rough mixed media paper, and this one, the 0.35, flows a lot easier than the one. What I'll wind up doing is grabbing a smooth piece of paper in a moment and playing around on that. I might have to just control the timing and the speed of it. And once again, I'm using the carbon ink from Platinum. If you leave this in the pen for a while, it will dry up and gunk up. I don't know how airtight these are, so after a few weeks they might dry up, so you want to be careful with that. But I believe that ham is meowing. Yeah, they're playing around. That with some soaking and things like that, the carbon ink would loosen up. So whenever I had picked these up, I'm assuming that I picked them up for that variety in size. One for thicker line and one for a thinner line. Here is some printer paper. we'll see how this looks on here. 0.35. Not too much of a flow issue with the 0.35. The one, let's see, and I'm left-handed, so that's a little bit of an issue. This feels like a thick long micron, but you can see I'm getting some flow issues at times. So if I was rapidly sketching with it, I would have some issues. I think at the end of the day, I'm going to do a sketch, well, not at the end of the day, but after this video, I'm going to do a sketch playing with both of these. I don't know if I had mentioned that, using this one for my thicker lines, this one for my finer lines, and just seeing the result. A few last notes on this. Carbon ink, I've found it between $16 to probably $22 is the average range. I believe it's 60 millimeters, but it's worth every penny. Light fast, waterproof, and in the past we've watercolored on top of it. These kor-I-noor fine liners, the rapidometric, all the different terms that they had for them. I don't know what year or what model these specifically are, or if it really means anything. You can fill them up with the eyedropper. There's ones out there that you can twist. I probably paid sub $10 for these. If I leave the ink in it for a while, it could dry out, meaning a few weeks, so you want to be careful with that. You don't want to use India ink, and so I'm just doing a summation of everything. Thinner lines could get caught on things, kind of like the upstroke of stuff, so you kind of have to do a more vertical line, vertical hold. Actually, it works well on an angle. It might be a kind of varies from pen to pen that was produced. Then we have our thicker line there. This one seems to do better being held up vertically. And on rougher paper, it might catch, it might get clogged, and cleaning might be more of a tedious issue than just rinsing off a brush. So I hope you enjoyed. I know this was kind of just a throw information at you, and me being an amateur with these things and opening them up first time. I probably haven't touched everything on it, but on that note, let me know if you use these, what you prefer, if you like the microns, if you use those. If you have a method for refilling microns, let me know down below. And also, I do have some fountain pens that were like stylographs, which were the same mechanism, but I had repaired them because they had the ink sac, and they would actually fill up like the old-timey fountain pens, but they worked in the same method where there was a little piece of metal that would dip in and release the ink. So that was pretty cool. I gotta pull those out and play around with those one day. Anywho, I will be back with some drawing and sketching. I'll see you in a few.